Well, we saw what could go wrong if a centralized token trading on an unregistered exchange blows up this week. We need to get the crypto exchanges registered because the future of the industry is registered digital assets trading on regulated exchanges where everyone has the investor protections they need. Well, we saw what could go wrong if a centralized token trading on an unregistered exchange blows up this week.
Hello guys, welcome back to Christian Finance for your regular financial content. And today we're going to be discussing what Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor has to say about the FTX collapse, as well as his overview on Bitcoin and the markets in the near to long term. As well as always, I'll give you my own personal perspective on what I believe will be happening in the markets in the short to mid to long term.
This week highlights the virtues of Bitcoin as much as it exposes the fragility of the crypto ecosystem. Bitcoin's a commodity you can self-custody without an issuer. The vast majority of all the crypto tokens out there are unregistered securities trading on unregulated exchanges, and they're fairly centralized.
Yeah, and absolutely. FTX is a perfect example of a centralized exchange having zero regulation around it. I think if you're looking at it from a bird's eye view, from a third person perspective, then it's a good thing for Bitcoin and for the space in general, because slowly but surely we need to get these bad actors out. The crypto space and Bitcoin does not need these over leveraged, centralized, unregulated exchanges. And I don't know how I feel about the whole regulation, because on the one hand, crypto being right now the whole unregulated Wild West is kind of the point of decentralization. But at the same time, with so many scams and ways that people are getting robbed, I'm almost starting to think that some sort of regulation does need to happen. However, it won't be all rose and violets, right? As soon as the regulation starts, guys, Bitcoin will not be going 100x in the matter of 4 years like it was before, right? As the market cap keeps on increasing, it's going to be a lot harder for it to continue multiplying. That is why I always say this is time for you guys to do your research. Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Most altcoins will disappear. I've always been consistent with this. Be really careful with altcoins. Once again, the main thing I'm speaking about is Bitcoin, but again, do your guys' research. But I think the important thing to take away from this is the more we regulate it, the more banks and big companies start to get in, the less wiggle space we'll have for these massive gains, right? Eventually, Bitcoin, I truly believe, is going to become like an S&P 500, where the gains are slowly going up, but at a much slower pace. With that, guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I do put a lot of effort into giving you guys these constant, regular financial updates. The only thing I ask in return, guys, just subscribe to the channel.
But there's a progressive regulation which says this is a path to register a digital security, a digital currency, a digital token, and your digital exchange. If there is a progressive regulation, then I think you won't see 20,000 tokens, you'll see a handful, dozens, but they'll be properly registered tokens. The industry is going to grow much more rapidly.
Yeah, and he's basically repeating what I just said, that if the regulation does become on a large scale, then we're going to see majority of these altcoins completely disappear. There's going to be a couple dozen at best, but the space will be much more regulated and steadily going up. Again, the downside, these big gains that we've been seeing in the crypto space for the last 10 years plus will slowly start to decrease over time. Now again, what happened with FTX, absolutely terrible, as well as Celsius, Voyager, and Terra Luna earlier on. But guys, this is a phrase I want you guys to remember. Not your keys, not your crypto. Meaning, yes, if you leave your money on these centralized exchanges, stuff can happen, right? The exchanges can either go insolvent, your crypto can be hacked. So that's why the only way your Bitcoin can be safe, guys, is if you put it on a ledger, right? I always recommend cold storage. Yes, it does take a few extra steps in the beginning because you have to purchase it and set it up, but it can save you thousands and in some cases a lot more money depending on how much you invest, obviously. But that's how Bitcoin was initially made. Obviously, remember your password, put it at a safe place, don't forget it because that'll also be bad. Yeah, but I highly recommend you guys look into cold storage, at least for your long-term holdings. Now, I did want to mention something that's very important, And that's that earlier in the year, in June actually, the chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler, big skeptic of crypto, came out and said that Bitcoin will be the only cryptocurrency he considers a commodity, right? Which is huge. So Bitcoin, as far as the SEC is concerned, is not a security, but it's a commodity, right? That to me is another thing that separates Bitcoin to the rest of the space. I very much feel like Michael Saylor. I'm not a crypto bull. I don't go and recommend you guys buy some micro cap altcoins, but at first, I urge you guys to go do your research on Bitcoin, right? Not financial advice, but do your research on Bitcoin. And of course, I wanted to mention the man, the myth, the legend, Warren Buffett, guys. I mention this all the time, but it's important. Right now that the market is down for the most part, and throughout this year, when it was even lower than this right now, Warren was consistently buying, right? And last year, when everything was at a peak, he was either selling or holding, right? Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Super important words to live by in the investing world. And with that, guys, the video is over. Let me know other similar content like me to do next in the financial space. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It just takes one click. And as always, stay diversified.